Hare Krishna. Don't just ask questions. Ask the question that underlies all questions. Often we see that some children are curious and they ask their mother, their father, whoever is around them, what is that? What is this? What is this? And generally curiosity is considered good. It is a sign, it is a prerequisite for learning, and we appreciate and encourage that curiosity. At the same time, maybe the child is studying, and instead of studying, the child starts looking and asking the tutor, okay, what is this, what is that, what is that, and starts inquiring about everything except the studies. Then that sort of inquiry will be considered not so desirable, and the teacher will focus on, ask questions about the subject, not about everything else. So similarly, in life, when we look at the big world around us, we can get questions about anything and everything. We can just take one object within the world and ask hundreds of questions about that object. And we could say at one level that any kind of questioning is good. But then there are questions of ultimate importance. The question that underlies all question is, what should I do? What am I meant to do? What should I do by which I'll get the best in life? Because ultimately, we have to live in the world, and living means making choices, and choices have consequences. So what choices should we make by which we will get the best consequences? That is the most important question that we need to have. It's like if a person, shifting to another metaphor, if a patient is in a hospital, the patient can ask many questions. Okay, what is this gadget? What is this machine? What is this treatment? What kind of doctor is this doctor? You can ask many questions, but the most important question that the patient needs to be asking is, what is the treatment that I should take? So similarly, the question about our place and purpose in the world, that is the most important question. And that question is the question that underlies all other questions. Once we understand that, then we will understand which other questions are important and how those questions can be meaningfully answered and how those answers can be used. Now, if we don't know what is our place and purpose in the universe, then even if we understand, even if we come to know, okay, this star is at this distance from the earth and this planet is, there is this exoplanet in this part of the Milky Way, or for this country this is the capital, whatever else we come to know, that knowledge will not be of much use without answer to the ultimate question. And we may say, I am not like a patient who is sick. Yes, but our sickness is our mortality, is our vulnerability to mortality and to misery. At any moment we may die, and even before we die, at any moment we may succumb to terrible misery. So we need spiritual wisdom about our place and purpose in the world. And Arjuna, he had a significant place in the world, and he had a consequential purpose in the world during his time. They were known as a warrior, and he had that was his place as a warrior in one of the most respected dynasties of his times. And he had the purpose that, okay, I am a formidable archer, and I am meant to fight I am meant to be a leading general in the army in the Kurukshetra war. But suddenly he came to a situation where he realized that, how can I fight? He came to an ethical crisis that snowballed into an existential crisis. It began with, how can I kill my elders? What am I meant to do? And when Arjuna turned towards Krishna, he was not simply asking a question, should I fight or should I not fight? He was asking, in 2.7 he says, Prichhami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha. Ishre karpanya doshopahata svabhava Prichhami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha Ishreyasyan nishchitam bruhi tanme Shishyaste ham shadhimam tvam prapannam. This is overcome by miserly weakness. Karpanya doshopahata svabhava. Being overcome by miserly weakness. Prichhami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha. Prichhami tvam dharma. I am asking you, what is my dharma? Sammudha cheta. I am deluded now. And so his question is, what is my dharma? Now dharma is not just some religious codes given somewhere. Dharma refers to our innate nature. It refers to the way by which we understand, we act according to our place and purpose in the world. And if the Bhagavad Gita were simply about whether a particular warrior should fight at a particular time or not, then it would have no reason for enduring popularity. But because it has this universal message, it helps us understand that we are parts of God, and being His parts, we are meant to act in a loving relationship with God. We are souls, spiritual beings. We are parts of God. That our place is that we are eternally His parts, and our purpose is that we are meant to act in love, act in spiritual love for Him in this world, by which we will attain fulfilling happiness in this world as well as beyond this world. So once we understand the purpose like this, then we can fulfill that purpose by living according to spiritual knowledge. So this inquiry about our place and purpose is not just a one-time inquiry by which you theoretically understand, okay, I am a soul, I am meant to serve Krishna. But if that inquiry underlies even our day-to-day practice of spiritual life, our day-to-day conduct in life, then we will not get tempted and deluded by the various confusing and deluding forces that we will encounter in life, externally and internally. But we will be able to, by asking ourselves this question, reminding ourselves, okay, what is my place, what is my purpose? And by focusing the answer to this question, we will be able to get the most illuminating wisdom. We will be able to stay focused on what is important in our life, and even if we have inquisitive nature, that inquisitiveness will be fruitfully directed, because by our focus on the fundamental question and its answer, our whole life will be most fruitfully directed. Thank you. Hare Krishna.